Mortal Kombat X is the best Mortal Kombat game in my opinion. Visually, the best looking fighting game we've seen to date. Is as brutal as they can possibly be, fun as hell, and has great guest characters like Jason, Predator, and soon to be the Xenomorph. But much like any game, there was something dragging it down. For MKX, that would be its story mode, which was awful and felt like the storyline was being force fed to us. Outside of Briggs and Takada, the special forces was uninteresting, and it seemed like they knew we wasn't going to be interested into Cage, so they force fed her on us and forcefully made her the main character that somehow beats Chinook. And you gotta get that in your head that this person who's not anything like any of the other characters is somehow fighting one of the biggest bad freaking villains in the lore of Mortal Kombat. So the story just felt really dumb in a lot of ways, and that dragged this game down. But overall, this game was amazing. It's the best fighting game I've ever played in my life. But again, the story could have been better. Forza 6 was the best racing game to launch this year. It was everything that made Forza 5 good, but with some added goodies to it. Racing in the night is really fun. Racing in the rain is a pain in the ass, but still fun. And overall, just purely a beautiful game. They brought back my favorite track from Forza 5, and just like then in Forza 6, I can't stop racing in Prague. But its negatives is that it lacks depth, and by that I mean after a month or two of playing the game, you're going to get bored of it. You're not going to want to play it as much. So the game lacks depth. It lacks longevity in playtime. Metal Gear 5 was a lot of people's game of the year. Plenty of my friends said it was amazing. Angry Joe thought it was amazing. Me, I thought it was alright. No, definitely a beautiful game. Very well written. Great companion options. To me, D-Dog's best companion. I really love having D-Dog around. He's very useful, very handy. But for the first half of the game, that was amazing. I really liked the first half of the game. It was great. I really enjoyed myself. It was very fun. It was very engaging, very immersive. I couldn't stop playing it at all other than the first half. But the game lacks depth, and the game lacks interest once you get to the second half of the story. For me, I felt like I had to force myself to play it, and once I got to the second half of the story, I basically just stopped playing the game. Period. Now I did eventually finish it, but I just felt like I was forcing myself to finish it. Rainbow Six Siege is one of the best multiplayer games to come out this year. The destructible environments and the choke pointy maps makes for an intense team-heavy gameplay, which is very, very fun and very, very lovely. I just love it. Anything can happen, and any plan can be changed by just one person making an unexpected move. Visually a good-looking game, not the best graphics. Weapons sound great. They sound very accurate. The list of operators is great, and they plan on adding at least 8 more, which is going to make it even more interesting. And each one is fun and useful in their own way. Now, one operator is bad. Each one can have their own usefulness depending on what type of situation you're doing, be it terrorist hunt or the multiplayer. The bad thing about this game, and the only reason it isn't higher, is the fact that there is no story mode. I feel like they wasted the talents of the beautiful Angela Bassett and missed on a good opportunity with this game, because the story mode for this game would have been very interesting. If you've played any Rainbow Six game, you know how interesting and engaging the story modes are, like the ones in Vegas and Vegas 2. Fallout 4, much like Metal Gear, was a lot of people's game of the year, but not for me. Though the game has a pretty cool story, it isn't interesting and isn't anything different from the previous games. Fallout 3 starts off in a similar fashion. Only difference is you don't experience vault life in the beginning of Fallout 4. So, they just give you like an example of how they're similar. In one game, you leave the vault, you go on to search for your father. The other, you leave the vault, you go on to search for your son. The only difference is who you're searching for. I'll lead you to decide which game is which. The game gets boring right around level 35 area, but with that all being said, getting to that level is fun. Getting to that to level 35 or higher, is a drag, but it's an addictive game for that small period of time. There's good companion options, a lot of customization, decent voice acting, but poor dialogue options. Only reason it's ranked higher than Rainbow Six is because Siege doesn't have a campaign. Ori and the Blind Forest is an amazing game. Like, there's no flaws to this game at all. Its art design is beautiful, the story is great and engaging, and it does hit in the feels a little bit early on. You know, the mechanics is a bit complex and takes a second to learn and get used to. I'm not a huge fan of these kind of games, but I love this game. You know, and it's never gonna get taken off my hard drive. It's gonna be my hard drive forever because I love this game. I can't stop playing it. You know, once I've completed it, I'll say, okay, I'll take a break, but I want to come back and play this game again. I love this game. It's a great game. It's one of the best games to come out, not just this year, but one of the best games to come out on the Xbox in general. Rise of the Tomb Raider is the shit. If you like the last game, you have to get this game. This game is a true sequel. By that I mean everything that made the previous game good, plus additions to make it even better. That's what this game is. Developers did a great job at adding new ways to traverse the areas, a more detailed customization. They threw in side missions, and it really seemed more like a fusion between a Tomb Raider game and an RPG game, because there's a lot of RPG elements in this game, and that is great. The story is great. I found myself, force myself to stop playing the game. Like, I'm playing it at night. I'm like, okay, it's almost 1 a.m. I need to stop playing this game. I'll just do one more tomb. Now, this game is very interesting. Like, I like everything they did to this game. I can't think of anything that's wrong with it. It's a flawless game. It is a great game. It's the best game to come out this year. One of the best games to come out this year, in my opinion. Tales from the Borderlands is amazing. Drop the mic. Tales of Borderlands is amazing. I'm not a huge Borderlands fan, but this game made me want to play Borderlands 2 in the pre-sequel, which I went and did because this game was that good. It made me want to learn more about the series, made me want to learn more about the world, made me want to learn about each individual character that had a cameo in this series. I have fun. It's a fun game. It's a great game. Telltale did a great job, and I can't wait to see what happens in season 2. It's going to be great. I love this game. The characters are really interesting. A lot of good humor. The voice acting is great. I can't think of any flaws for this game. It is a very, very amazing game. It'd be my game of the year if the 2 games ahead of it didn't come out this year. Halo 5 is a great game. It's a game with mixed reviews. Some people love it, some people hate it. I'm one of those people that love it. Now, the story was pretty short, which is a negative, but the story was interesting. I like how they did the team thing with Blue Team and Osiris Team. There's a lot of interesting things they added to the game that I actually liked. Now, some people, when it comes to change, they don't like change a lot. I like the change they made to the story, just wish it was longer. I do wish we spent more time with Blue Team, but I think that goes into not being a long enough game. The game's ads were misleading. It made us believe that it was a cheat versus a lot kind of thing when it wasn't, so that's kind of a negative too. But overall, I really enjoyed the story for what it was. It was a great story. The cliffhanger ending at the end made me even more interested into the next game, so I don't feel like there was anything too bad with the story. Multiplayer wise, this is the best Halo multiplayer to date. Just that. It is the best Halo multiplayer to date. Outside of some balancing issues, multiplayer doesn't really have any flaws. No. Plus free multiplayer DLCs as well. You can't really go wrong with that. But just every detail about the multiplayer, be it Arena, be it Warzone, be it Warzone Assault, everything in the game is fun to play. And you know, you'll get annoyed at some occasions, but it's not the game's fault usually because either your teammates suck or, you know, your connection is not helping you in any kind of way possible. But overall, great game. I really love Halo 5. I can't wait for Halo 6, however long it takes to make. Just don't rush it, and please give us a longer story. Understood, Commander. And finally, my game of the year, which comes to no surprise, is The Witcher 3. And this is one of the greatest games of all time. It is the most beautiful game on Xbox, in my opinion. It has the best story out there of any game on any platform this year. This game is pure perfection. Every single detail of this game is amazing. You'll be running around the forest and you hear branches in the trees crackle. Garrett will mention changes in the weather. Little details, just little details like that. It's amazing. I love everything about this game. No. It's just the story in this game is so amazing. Every single quest, from the main quest down to the little question marks you get on your map, is engaging and interesting. Some side quests can turn into main quests. The customization in this game is the detail for customization. Having to repair your weapons, all of that is amazing to me. This isn't anything. There isn't anything in this game I want different. Everything in this game is perfect. There's nothing in this game I want to change. From the beginning to the end, this is one of the best games I ever played. Period. This is one of the best games I've ever played. It's in my top 5 of best games ever. And there's a lot of people, there's a lot of reviews are out there that said this is the best RPG of all time. So this game has got a lot of good reviews, and in my opinion, it deserves it. That is my top 10 games of the year. Got you on top 10. Make the video forward. Hit me up so I can find that video and check it out. Just like I'm gonna share my opinion. I want to hear you guys' opinion. I want to see you guys' opinion. Thank you for watching, guys. Merry Christmas. Having a happy gaming, jabronis.